all of a sudden, like the contracts and all the memos all sounds like AI written content without real good editing, and people didn't put enough effort in it. I always tell my users, best way to eliminate AI is really write yourself. The best humanizer is ourselves. People underestimate how complex our brain works. Like most of the professional writing, especially technical, it's also very creative. Right now, like AI simply doesn't have that level of intelligence. It can do the repetitive work well. It can do technical work well. It can do like pure creative things well. Like, but if you mix all that up, it really sucks.
Hey everybody, I'm Devin Coombs. I'm a CPA, MBA, and I work at Google Cloud, where I lead multi-billion-dollar deal negotiations as the financial expert. But for fun, I also do this podcast, Ambition Aligned, where I try to find purpose-driven professionals making real impact with what they're doing in their lives. Please watch, please subscribe, and I think we're going to get a ton out of today's episode. Tell me what's been going on with you, my friend.
Well,
What's
guess,
new?
There's a lot going on, like between law school and and my day job and all the startups. It's it's a lot. So I think when you run the startup, really you have to take care of everything from scratch. Like I code myself. I do the testing myself, and also do the marketing, reach out to people and do the demos. And also I helping a lot of companies, doing kind of automations, right? So quite a lot of like all kind of workflows. Basically, I need to build from scratch. People don't have those automations in house yet, so I do a lot of those with quite a few tech companies in the Bay Area, and plus some bioscience companies, like really in the United States. So I think right now 3 of my customers are going for the IPO. So the work volume really piles up. And on top of that, you have have to like law schools. My exams are coming up, so that part isn't easy either. So
Well, that saying goes, right? Like, if you want to get something done, give it to a busy person. So, that you epitomize that. So tell me more about, I want to hear more about the law school and how you're balancing all this. But first, what's going on with the startup? What are you specifically working on? 3 IPOs in a pretty dry IPO market. So that's pretty impressive. What's going on there?
well, I have 2 shops, right? Like Chipmunk Robotics, which is my consulting shop, like who help people in terms of implementing finance automation, that with people establish the SOX controls, and making sure they run the recognitions are correct, so like being all over the place with Chipmunk Robotics. And the second startup I have is really a joint venture with a number of engineers, which is AI startup for professional drafting, Inkwise.ai.
Yep.
So we onboarded close to like 1,000 businesses so far, and mostly are small business. Um, Most of those users are professional attorneys and technical account folks, as well as finance and investment folks. Are there people in different areas in consulting or in psychological training, those type of areas too. But that's that can be busy in terms of helping people how to leverage the platform to draft professional documents on those platforms, right? So that's almost like completely different things from what I've been doing at Chipmunk Robotics.
Yeah. Tell me more about Inkwise. So what are you doing at Inkwise now? And walk me through the workflow. Like, what exactly, it seems like you're pretty excited about it, right? And so I'm curious if you want to share more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Inkwise is essentially you can view Inkwise being an automation as well. It's an automation for professional writing by leveraging GenAI. Well, I think at this point, everybody uses GenAI now. Like everybody uses either ChatGPT or Anthropic, and probably you and I, we both use ChatGPT and Anthropic to do certain amount of writing, whether it's professional writing or not. Like that's a different story. But I think I use ChatGPT to help me to do searches. And but at the end of the day, oftentimes, I copy what ChatGPT or Anthropic told me and paste it in a Word doc, and then I start organizing my thoughts and building things together. And because AI generated content are, first of all, like you can't blindly trust those, right? And then secondly,
Yeah, hallucinations.
yeah, like and even without hallucination, the way I write, and you can tell like when people send you stuff written in AI, you can tell it's AI written stuff, right?
Oh, right away, right? The dash, and then the rocket ships, the emojis, the amount of emojis going on right now, it's ridiculous. And then
Yeah,
what else did I give away?
yeah,
Like this, but yeah,
yeah,
there's a lot of like tropes, right?
yeah. This is the part. This is one of the reasons why I built Inkwise is, well, first of all, I saw like a lot of professionals like us, like we started using Anthropic in more of a silly way, like where people just generate the content directly in the professional document, impact memos in contract, and all of a sudden, like the contracts and all the memos all sounds like AI written content without real good editing, and people didn't put enough effort in it. And partly is because it's not convenient. Like the typical way to handle it, like with today's technology, like Microsoft Word, some of the version come with Copilot, and Google Doc comes with some Gemini powered AI assistants as well. But even then, like you also have to copy what AI generated for you and paste it in there, and then you can try to do the editing, and it interrupts your thought process. Think about in old ways when we write, we open a blank Word document, we open a blank Google Doc document, and we just start writing there, right? Like our flow is not interrupted constantly by something like AI. That's what I'm trying to build using Inkwise. That is really, I we have to acknowledge AI is here and everyone wants to use it. It saves us time, saves us time substantially for especially for those mechanical part of the writing. But Inkwise is really built to give you the opportunity to write together with AI. So it's more seamless. Like we can pull AI. Like I don't use the chatbot experience. I don't have a chatbot. Like people start writing, they can write as is, or writing in Word document, and whenever they need AI's help, that's when I use my like a prompt window is more like an inline prompter. You can click the button to bring the inline prompter, and this is where they can ask AI to write based on the reference document they uploaded. So that's different from ChatGPT or Anthropic, the handling of the references document too. And that's where we're getting into a little bit technical setup. So when like people right now, they can upload reference document into ChatGPT and Anthropic for those solutions to write based on those references, right? But professional document, think about like a company planning for IPO, is drafting an entire tank like S1 or 10K, 10Q. It's a long document. Right? Your reference support, you can have hundreds of references document or tens of support document in there. It could be Excel, it could be Word, it could be PDF, all those kind of different types of document. But some of the document can, like 3 of the document can support this one paragraph. The other 2 supports another one, and there might be 10 reference document that supports another section, right? So it's not like all the documents you upload to AI can be used all at the same time when you do the right. So and AI isn't smart enough. Like after you upload, let's say tens of documents into ChatGPT, like it's not smart enough to tell to basically distinguish what you're writing for this argument for this paragraph. This paragraph need which part of the references you just upload, right? Like AI isn't just like us, yeah. It's far away from being us. in reality. So that's why I created Inkwise. We use a totally like more sophisticated RAG technology, to augmented generation, to basically allow users to pick from their references documents. Like say they can pick those two references document for this paragraph, and they can pick another document for another paragraph. So that human element of it, like I'm trying to essentially transform the writing experience from the existing natural writing habit we in ways to integrate with AI's writing. Like I'm still leveraging AI, but I don't change our existing writing. For us, writing a papers, you teach at the college, right? You give paper assignments to your students. When the students write those papers, they have all those supporting documents, all those like journals they reference in the research, right? They basically read those papers and then write a conclusion or write things based on this report, the papers they just read. Same thing, like for AI-based writing, uh, that shouldn't change. Uh, People shouldn't just be lazy or dumping everything in there and just hoping AI can just pick everything for me. Like first of all, AI is not smart enough to do that. Like secondly, that really takes away the human thinking process from from the writing. So and that's where I don't like to see that. Like for being a professional, for being a CPA and also hopefully I can be a future lawyer as well. I definitely don't want to see the professionals are relying on AI and stop stop knowing how to write themselves.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I've played in the AI space, and I want to ask more about Inkwise and what you're using there because it's just so interesting to me right now. Like, and it sounds like you're making great tractions with it, and I'm curious too on how you're pricing it and all that. There's a million things I want to ask you, but what I've seen is because I played with AI probably way too much, and for a bunch of different use cases because I just love tinkering with technology, and along with a lot of the fine-tuned models around it, like TA Bot is one of them that I had on recently. That's pretty solid. Uh, it really isn't that good. Like, I guess that's my big takeaway. It's really good at a paragraph. About a paragraph of context, you can get how you're like, can you help me polish this paragraph? Can you tell me if I missed anything important, or is there anything you can? It's really good with brainstorming too. Like, how did this go? What am I missing? Can you give me some other ideas? But then, if as soon as I get to a page or even multi-page article, I could give it very explicit guidance. And I'm talking about the best models on ChatGPT or Claude, and be like, here's the things. Like what one of my workflows I like to do is I used to like to go on walks and make voice notes for myself. And I'll get very clear, like, here's how I want an article. I want to cite this, these books. And normally then I would take that and go write. And I'm like, hey, can ChatGPT go do the writing for me? Or any of these tools? They can't. It just hands down can't. It'll be way fake. It'll miss a bunch of the sources. It'll miss a bunch of the details of the story. It makes the writing experience actually more painful. At best, it could be just like outlining, and like it makes you not want to write at all. You just want to just be like, this wasn't what I was going for at all. And it uses all of those tropes. So I was curious, like, how do you enhance that workflow? And do you use audio at all? Or have you seen anything that uses audio well?
Well, before I built like Inkwise, honestly myself, I didn't want to build it because I know how many products on the market doing those kind of AI writing. Because writing is supposed to be what AI is best at. Because they're large language models, right? This is what's supposed to be what they're really good at. And there are tons of solutions out there. Like I tried like at least 30 for technical accounting. How much like technical accounting levels I wrote. So but not like just like you said, I had the same issues. Like none of those works well. Well, from the start, most of the solutions start with a chatbot experience. You kind of read stuff like you kind of read like professional, serious content with chatbot experience, right? It's really counter what writing is like. writing is iterative and process, which writers have to go in their mind, like round and round of editing in their mind before they even start writing. Writers,
Hmm.
like good writer, need to know what they want to achieve, before they even put keyboard ready for the paper. So, but the chatbot is really taking that away from people. Chatbot is you chat with AI, and it gives you the one shot result of that chat, and that self is basically the very large roadblock for you to anyone like to achieve a very good writing result out of that experience. So even for the ones that is not a chatbot experience, I feel people like the engineer building those solutions are relying on AI too much. Um, I
Mm.
think AI could be like basically good at either good at very very creative stuff. For example, you said AI can help us brainstorm a lot of things we don't think about, right? Actually, that's good. It's a creative part, and AI is also very good at uh very very technical things themselves. Like for example, like AI, I think the best AI use cases today and most value added services AI is doing today is help engineers themselves to code, right? And the AI is actually doing a very good, very like showing us a very good result in there. Nowadays, you can go to some AI platform by generating a front page, like front app, like like web applications, like in minutes, right? Just using AI's help. So I think on both sides, AI is doing very well. I think when it comes down to writing, uh, people like underestimate how complex our brain works. Like most of the professional writing, especially technical, it's also very creative. In a way, it's a very very subtle way you make it all your technical writing work. You can make it very persuasive. You can make it like works a very different way. Like the changes like our human brain are making it's very subtle. Like right now, like AI simply doesn't have that level of intelligence like close to us, right? It can do the repetitive work well. It can do technical work well. It can do like pure creative things well. Like, but if you mix all that up, it really sucks. It really sucks. So that I think that's one of the things. Like at least for a lot of technical writers out there, uh, I I heard those kind of rumors a lot from people. Like, oh, you just give it another 5 years, AI is gonna replace all the attorneys. AI is gonna replace most of the contents. Uh, Maybe to some degree, because a lot of repetitive work that they can be replaced by AI. But I think at the moment, um, it's proven current AI algorithms by simply feeding a large data set won't get us far enough to the level of the human intelligence. It doesn't matter how many, there are popular 10, parameter models out there. That that level, like you can feed all kinds of content to AI, still doesn't it still doesn't work like a human brain work.
Yeah,
So
I'm meeting a lot of people. Meeting a lot of companies who are realizing this and are really investing in having someone like I've heard this term service as a software a lot lately.
yeah,
Of like the idea is you need someone to manage a professional, a really highly paid professional to manage the model and the output. And maybe they have a special fine-tuned model that supports them in that output. But you need a human. You need a human for that final leg. And it almost reminds me of like how we all have when you call a call center now, you all have the automated center. and everyone was so big, like CCAI, call center AI, was such a big move 10 years ago. But I think we can all admit that it made the world worse. Like no one wants to talk to that freaking robot on the other side, right? You're just, like everyone's instantly pressing 0, be like, give me a representative, give me a representative. And I could see if we don't manage this correctly, or businesses don't manage it correctly, this could become another solution like that. But it sounds like you're trying to solve that with Inkwise. So what are you doing differently?
I'm not saying like my technology or my build is better than other people's. I'm just taking more of a human approach. Like I think like I often tell people like Inkwise is probably the most anti-AI writing platform. Like people going there expecting, I have a chatbot, and basically I ask AI in the chat, like, hey, help me write a technical accounting memo, help me write a contract about certain things. That's not what Inkwise is. Inkwise give you a blank page and give you a platform for you to write, and then you can pull AI whenever you want to help you finish the paragraph, help you finish the synthesis. People need to know how to write, to use the platform like Inkwise. It's essentially no different from the old ways of writing using Microsoft Word or using Google Doc. So it doesn't change any of it. It basically fast track your workflows, allow you to upload the template, and allow you to quickly roll forward. But it requires people know how to write the things they want to write, and it requires people to still spend the time to find what references they need to support the writing, and they requires people to know, okay, which references is used to support which paragraph. So it basically have all that human element in there, but this is where they can also pull in AI's help to fill the mechanical gaps. Like this is where like AI can come in to help. I'll quickly write an argument based on the 3 references people select. So I think that's the beauty of Inkwise. That's where it doesn't change anyone's writing habit, and also doesn't allow AI to dominate the narrative. So it really continue to let people to dominate that writing.
Yeah, that's so fascinating. I'm trying to think like practical application, and this is how I would do it too. So I'm going to write a memo, give some of my company background, make sure I know what sources I'm citing, and then start going into like, what's the objective of this memo? How am I going to accomplish this task? What arguments are for and are against it? And you're saying there's more of a companion, like maybe like a co-pilot, but I'm in the middle of my paragraph. I'm like, hey, I think I gave you enough here. Can you finish this up for me? And it can do that. Or is that kind of how you're using it?
Exactly.
Or how do you use it in your workflow? And how are you finding that your workflow is improving from it?
Do you want me to show you how it works?
Yeah, could you show it? Let's
Okay,
go play around with
yeah,
it for a second.
yeah.
If you don't mind, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let me get it in and show you how it works. So I don't just stop. Don't always just stop. So we're all like both of us are 606 experts. So maybe let's talk about 6.
Let's do it, man.
yeah,
Let's check it. Let's appreciate it. And you're saying 1,000 people are using this? Is this what your IPOs are doing, or are you doing that through the Chipmunk?
So there are about like 1,000 users, small business, are using Inkwise already.
Are they paid or beta?
Most of them are already. So.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and this whole thing, when I build the automations, it's also not expensive, right? So I are like very like moderate pricing. I would say.
Yeah, your rates are always steals.
Yeah. Here is 606 contract review memo, right? Like, what I did is, okay, I have a sales order form, which is my contract in here. I have some SSP documentation in there, and I have some of my personal 606 guidance accumulated over the years in there, right? To help me support to write this memo. So there are things like, and you mentioned about predictive, like autocomplete, right? And we all know how autocompletes work, but let me show you how autocomplete works in today's world, like using AI. right? And you see this is the allocation. So I listed the SSPs and I listed the contract price, and AI's automatic autocompletes will consider all of the references I have. It will also consider the existing content, like what I'm trying to achieve here. And it also consider the whole whole positions of the article, the structure of the article. And basically there is a whole, I don't know, we talked to a lot of folks, people mentioned about AI agent. There's a whole AI agent working behind the scene to make this happen.
Yeah.
And
This is cool. No,
yeah,
I'm just reading it right now. This is amazing. This
yeah,
is so much better than what I've seen chatbots would ever do.
yeah,
And this is where I can imagine. Is there a verbal way to do this? Like, is there a way that I could talk into this and then you could structure it? Because or I guess you could at least copy paste into Inkwise at the very least. But there's something really cool here. This is something I'm always looking for. It's like, hey, here's my idea. And now I don't want to write all the BS that gets it to the end. Like the main idea and arguments there, can something just finish it for me? But if I was to put this in ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, it would give me something completely different and incorrect. But this is following the right flow. And it's because is it benchmarking? Are the agents going against the documents that you've uploaded to compare against, or what's going on there?
exactly. It's first the references, all the references I uploaded myself. And it's also look at, okay, what are the immediately preceding things I wrote so far. And then it also consider, okay, this is what this section is about, and what is this whole article is about, and what is this section's relationship with the rest of the sections in this article. So it considered multiple things before it generated this context. So like here I said total contract price. So we already have a total contract price. The allocation for cloud subscription is here. So then what's remaining, like in this contract, what's remaining is really just a professional services piece, right? And then it's essentially basically know what's remaining. What I want to say is the remaining of the contract price allocated to pay professional services. And so that way, we like basically by doing all those AI agents behind the scenes, we basically engineered AI to be able to predict what I want to write next. And the beauty about this is the more you write in this article, in this document, the more accurate AI will be for the next autocomplete. And of course, if you don't like this version, right, they can always try a different version. Just press the arrow key and try a different version for AI to show it to you. And
both scanning, both are solid. All of them have been great ways to end of it.
Exactly. So and this is just one feature. The autocomplete feature is just one feature, helping people to quickly draft the document. And the inline prompter, you can see the whole thing is just the edit. The whole thing is just the editor. You can start with templates here. You don't have to start with templates. And what you can do, like most people, is if you just want to roll forward certain memos, you simply just select this, and this is where you see where I right click. This is the inline prompter. This is where you can start asking AI to write certain paragraphs for you. Like here, let's say this palette term description is old, right? I just want AI to use this contract. And this is where it's different from ChatGPT. I allow people to upload the references, but also select which reference to use for which paragraph. And say rewrite the selected text based on the contract in the reference.
Oh, this is awesome.
And this is where AI is only gonna retrieve that information from the references that I select. It doesn't go look at the other two references. And it also knows, okay, user selected text is the palette term, so they know it needs to write the palette term. And also it's gonna show me where did they got the information from the palette term, from the original contract. So
so it actually cites it. That's amazing.
Yeah, because you don't want AI to hallucinate and to make So, and this is where the palette terms is. And if I don't like it, I actually can I ask it and try it again? And it like can try many times if I want. And then if I'm okay with this, I can just quickly edit it here and do some quick editing. Just delete those old ones, and here we go. Right, that's a quick roll forward. People can do. But but besides the roll forward, I still prefer as the first user on this platform. I still prefer people to write on their own and use AI whenever we need to. Right. So that's
And how's the math? So can we go back to that section you did? I'm curious how good the math is, because I always find that AI is really rough with the math. So
you are definitely correct. Absolutely correct. AI is not good at math. So, like for example, here, remember this number 345. If you try to ask AI to calculate this number, let's say whether I can calculate this number correct. You see, this is wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Because
very interesting. So you can't rely on the numbers. So
yeah,
it's still a struggle.
Yeah, don't. This is where don't completely rely on AI to do things, especially like in professional writing. Like it's not intelligent enough to replace us. At least not yet.
Well, I found it really funny. I've seen like some AI enhanced financial planning tools. I'm like, it's giving you wrong numbers, guys. It's the worst. It's not meant to do this.
Yeah, exactly. And I think people really need to be careful, especially when they obtain a lot of contracts and ultimately it's a person delivering those documents are responsible for what they wrote, right? So it's not AI is not going to be responsible for it. So I think this is where like we can use AI to do a lot of help. Like for example, if I have this argument, I have this conclusion here, and my conclusion for the palator, because it's their trial period, right? My conclusion is the contract will not be recognized until the pallet period concludes. So I have many pre-built AI tools. Basically, I can ask AI to write opposing argument immediately for from the paragraph I selected, and this is where AI is leveraging 606 and trying to say there is a contract. So and
that's cool. This is awesome.
Yeah,
this is so good. I was just talking to someone else about how important it is to, like, one of the biggest risks about AI, especially for memo writing software, is it can constrain the brainstorming. You want to be able to use it to brainstorm, and if it gives you an answer, you might take it for face value, especially if you're not an expert and logical. And I'm always looking for, like, hey, first humanize it. Can you write this like you're not a robot? And then second, what's the gaps in the logic here, or what am I missing? And this is huge. I'm curious. And how accurate is it? I kind of want to.
Well, earlier the conclusion is my conclusion, so my conclusion was the correct one. But when I ask to write the counter argument, it's basically saying, well, firstly, I focused on this, not solely on termination clauses. It tried to refute my argument there.
That's cool.
And it's basically, and secondly, the existing enforceable right can be assessed beyond the termination clause. You see, like, it's really trying to build their right argument along the way. It's trying to beat me when I put in there. And so, yeah, so like here, like at the end of the day, like they don't automatically preclude route recognition during a pallet curve. And all it's saying is correct. It's just basically trying to say, oh, companies can recognize revenue in accordance 6 laws even before pallet period concludes. And so you can see how much.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you can see how much AI is trying its best to beat my conclusion here. And And it's actually very, very helpful for a lot of attorneys trying to draft um, like a legal argument, and whenever they put the argument in there, they can use AI to see, okay, can AI beats me, and like, do they have a new angle, and missed, they can actually use this. And then you mentioned the humanizer, like, I definitely have a humanizer as well myself, like trying to eliminate the AI elements of the writing from the
That's
existing
great.
AI generated content. But I always tell my users, like, best way to eliminate AI style is really write yourself, right? Don't rely on AI writing. After, just use AI's generation for a summary and just rewrite on top of that. Just using AI to fill the mechanical gaps. The best humanizer is ourselves.
How funny is that? It's like so many people are trying to get AI to write like humans. Like, just hey, how about you finish the writing? How about you do it? Put the
Exactly.
last polish. They'll get too lazy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, so well, what how are you selling this, or what's the plan? How are you marketing all of this? How are you balancing this with all the other stuff that you're working on? Is this your priority right now, or what's going on?
Absolutely not a priority. So for the most part, Inkwise is gaining popularities among professionals. But it's really, I didn't do any marketing myself. It's really, mouse to mouse right now at the moment. So, when the content use this, I go, oh, this is really great, and they tell their friends. And same thing with the attorneys. I started this, originally for technical accounting like us, but right now I actually, in fact, have more attorneys on the platform than accountants.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the words is really go fast right now. Like, it's just not just in the United States. I have users from across the globe right now using this, because large language models, like, doesn't really matter which language it supports, right? Um, so yeah, I really have people from the globe using this for technical writing.
This is awesome. Well, I know I've seen it before, but I now want to. I appreciate you doing the live demo for me. I want to play with it now. I want to play with it a lot more, and I'm sure some of the viewers will too. So I'll make sure to put a link in for everybody. And I know you get free demos out, right? So yeah, this is awesome. Thank you for sharing. It's really exciting. So, what are you doing on? Are you still building this out more, or what is your day to day look like now, or what are you excited about next for all of this
Well,
and all of your projects?
by in the next, actually, maybe I will show you this. I'm still building some of the features, especially the team feature. So, this is my long-term dream, like where like multiple people can work on a very long technical document. For example, 10K. Right, 10K is a great example. And we being technical content ourselves, we know how lengthy the 10K is and how far it is to draft the annual report for any public companies out there, right? Like, imagine multiple people can basically use AI, use references to write different sections of technical document like a 10K and 10Q at the same time. So it's really substantially increase the efficiencies of those technical document writing. Like certain menus or certain like even if you want to draft a law book, or like, you can basically load all your references in there and different sections of the book all at the same time. So this is really a game changer. When one person uses AI to write, it probably can reduce the time by like 50% easily. When multiple people can use AI to draft certain things at the same time, and that's really where the return really come in. Like historically for S1, like for companies going on IPO, right? The S1 drafting is a very, very painful process, and it can take weeks. And really, this like once I have
That's putting it lightly. It could take months, and you could be sleeping in a printing house for weeks.
yeah,
I've been there.
yeah, exactly. So, and I have multiple team members can use the RAG-based AI to draft technical sections very accurately, and then this is the where it elevates the writing to the next level, and it's also like the writing. So this is like to me like this is not a new concept, but it's really a new technology in the AI space where where people can use shared RAG to write a document, a very technical, lengthy document by multiple people together, and this is almost like a burst of Google Doc uh, all over again, just in the age of AI, right? So that's
Well, it's
this.
so fascinating that it's so fascinating that you can compete so much better than a Google Doc with this. Like that, your functionality just seems so much cleaner and more useful than in Google Doc. I can't do any of this right
Yeah,
now. I just get the chatbot Gemini inclusion.
yeah, not because Google doesn't have the technology, it doesn't have the because more of uh, like here, like when I go in, when I go into the platform, when I do the upload, like for example, when I write this 606 memo, I upload my references. Each of my references, each my document, it says it's a Word document here, but in reality, each of the document I upload, I actually convert each document into a mini vector databases people like for example, whenever I pull this internet prompter here, I select this contract. I'm in fact selecting the database, vector database converted from this reference document. So, and for a large company like Google, you think about trouble for Google or for Microsoft is as they have Google Drive, like Microsoft has OneDrive. Like if they want to support technical writing using a RAG solution like this, they have to convert so many documents, and like they basically just think about just you alone, how many documents you have in your Google Drive right now. If you want to convert each of the document to a database that Google manages, how much volume like Google has to deal with?
Yeah, it's
And
impossible. Yeah, so it's fascinating. It's
yeah,
a classic big fish problem. It's just too much.
yeah, it's too much.
Like this is why we need competitors in the space like yourself, because you have that advantage of being lean and
Yes.
being able to not over process. Man, I appreciate that. We're running close on time. We got to talk more about all the other stuff you're working on. What's next in mind for you other than this?
So,
Like,
well, I definitely want to push a number of things. Like I feel a little guilty. Like this year, I didn't do many publications I used to do in automation. Like I used to publish articles telling people, hey, how to automate the ERP workflows, or how to just give away those open source codes for people to leverage, whether it's VBA, whether it's F-script, or whether it's hands-on, and so people can start leveraging. I feel bad that I didn't do much this year yet, so I will definitely do a little bit more, publications on like basically some LinkedIn articles or blogs or video recordings. Because last year alone, like, I think I published 4 or 5 softwares for people to use for free in
yeah, I know you always
in revenue recognition calculation, all that. I definitely want to do a little bit more this year for that. And on another side is, I'm helping CICP has a very good initiative right now, to promote like technology, right? I'm always on the CITP committee to promote the CITP credentials with certified IT professional credentials for AICPA. And this year, I'm also trying to see that we can leverage technologies and combine technologies more embed technology more into the forensic accounting space as well. Especially at the moment, there are tens of like AI is a big risk, right? AI itself is a big risk. Like in computer vision side, like deepfake, for example, is always a very huge risk.
Yeah.
Huge
Yeah.
forensic.
There's a cat and mouse thing,
Yeah.
right? They're like, we need to keep up. We need to keep up from a regulatory perspective.
Yeah, exactly. And that is this AI is one forensic accounting risk with AI. And secondly, there's a whole cryptocurrency thing right now. Like there are just so many fraud going on right now with cryptocurrencies, and I think
Yeah,
the current political environment is really good for those fraud to grow substantially, like in the recent years. So I think this is where I'm hoping we can use technology to tackle some of the cryptocurrency fraud as well.
I love that. Yeah, and I'm completely with you. There's definitely like there's a question of ethics when you have one of the top members of government also own like 5 major companies in the US, right? Not knocking Trump there, but come on, guys, like, and he could shift around IP from one company to another.
Yeah.
It gets a little sketchy pretty fast. Man, I could talk to you forever. We gotta wrap it up, but I would love to, any of that stuff, especially if you're doing trainings or whatnot with the ISCPA. I would love to work with you on some of that. I'm trying to migrate more into that education space, so that could be a lot of fun to work on together.
I'm hosting a couple of like Firechat with the ISCPA this year, so I will invite you to one of those Firechat and talk about what you have been working on, what you haven't seen, in the whether you're working at Google, seeing those, or in other spaces, you're saying like I definitely want to hear your perspective.
Yeah, I would love to be on the fireside chats, and I'd love to get more back into the AICPA, so maybe I could chat about it with you. But yeah, everyone, I'll put the links to all of the stuff you're working on in the chat, and we'll definitely talk again when there's more time. I'm sorry we had some tech difficulties at the beginning, so appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man.